don't even need to adjust the height of the microphone. Good evening, everybody, and Aaron, thanks very much for those kind words and for organising this event tonight, which generally is not my thing. When I was drafting my speech, my 19-year-old daughter happened to look over my shoulder. She didn't say anything to me, but just straightened up and called out, "Mum, quick, Dad's writing his speech. You're definitely going to have to help him." She then did say something to me before walking off, which was, "And it's too long." And then she walked off. So anyway, I have heeded her advice, you'll be glad to know. So this is my 20th year of being a consultant, but my introduction to Plymouth goes back to 1999, when I arrived as a registrar. And it seems strange because in many ways it's flown by, and yet so much has changed. Many of you will remember some of these things. The Terence Lewis building didn't exist. ITU was on Postbridge. There was no SAU, with the take alternating between Wolphinstone House just mixed in with the elective patients. We had weekly GI breakfast meetings with gastroenterology, pathology and radiology, and breakfast was actually served. But I think the most significant thing of all, back then, I had hair. What struck me about Derriford from the very beginning was just how friendly the place was, whilst undertaking really high quality work and without making a song and dance about it. Really was an exceptional place. There was also a work hard, play hard attitude, something I've always believed in. You could do a long day's work, sometimes a really long day's work, and still go out on the moors for a bike ride or out on the sea. It's quite an incredible place to work. In my penultimate year, I was Tim's registrar. And it was then that I realised that upper GI surgery was absolutely for me. Partly because Tim was a great colleague and mentor, but also because I saw the elegance of his surgery, the beauty of the anatomy and the dissections, all performed in ergonomic positions, unlike our colorectal colleagues at the time, who were essentially guzzling in the pelvis. And Tim, it has been great working with you. Been a great colleague, a great mentor. We shared numerous coffees, planning the future of the unit and putting our hospital and the NHS to rights, including many excellent nights out, including the memorable occasion at a conference where, for reasons still unclear, Tim ate our entrance tickets in front of the bouncer and threw us out. Our unit has evolved enormously over the years. Joe set us on a good path by sending patients straight back to the ward after an esophagectomy, when ITU was the norm and strangely is still the norm. Bariatric surgery was commissioned in 2009 after what felt like a lifetime of meetings, and the esophagogastric cancer work was centralised to Plymouth back in 2010, thanks in no small part to Tim's tireless efforts. It then felt like we had a proper, bona fide esophagogastric unit, and in fact we had one of the busiest ones in the country. So our consultant numbers grew. Fortunately, Richard Beresford joined us permanently from Exeter, and Paul Pizer came across as an in-reach surgeon from Truro. And Lee Humphreys, who's here tonight as well, joined us in 2014 to drive bariatrics forwards, which he did, until he saw the light a couple of years ago and moved across to the pharmaceutical industry. Uncanny timing, really, to move across to the pharmaceutical industry just when they're about to release a weight loss injection. I think pure coincidence, of course. And when Aaron joined us in 2016, our unit certainly felt more complete, partly because we could move to a 1 in 5 on call, but also because Aaron tends to do the work of 3 people. And since then, we've continued to enrich our wonderfully multicultural unit with the appointments of David, Chi, Mo, Ahmed, and Anu.
Think about EDI now.
As many of you know, I did briefly venture into management. I naively thought I might be able to improve our hospital and the NHS. I'm glad I did it, if only to scratch that itch. But the best bit was definitely getting to know people outside my immediate clinical world and helping them drive forward innovations and ideas that they knew would help their units and their services. I think that's called empowerment, something that probably won't catch on in the NHS. And the job was made infinitely better by working with the excellent and lovely Gemma, who is, as usual, out on her holidays, and Tash, and Aaron, and Yolita. Throughout most of my career, I have been very fortunate to have one constant. That is my wife. There is no way I could have dedicated the time, energy, and focus that this job requires without her unwavering encouragement, support, and patience. And I'm so excited about us being able to enter our next phase of our lives together. So looking back, I feel incredibly privileged. I feel privileged to have worked in the specialty I love. I feel privileged to have spent time, most of my career, at Derriford. And I'd like to just say thanks all very much for coming tonight. You will all hold a special place in my heart.